Welcome.
to Dark Narratives. I'm Isabella.
And I'm Alexandria. I watched a horror movie the other night by myself.
Ooh, love it.
The Deliverance.
The Deliverance. Why? That sounds so familiar.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of new. Hold
Yeah,
on.
I feel like I've seen trailers for it. Was it good?
I mean, it was a possessed child. Yeah, it just came out in 2024.
Okay, so yeah, very new.
And then, do you know who Glenn Close is?
Not just off the no.
She is one of the main characters. But yeah, it gets a bit crazy.
It's good. I love watching horror movies. Dylan does not watch scary movies. He does not like them, but I always will watch them because I love to watch TV in bed. So he'll fall asleep and I'll put a horror movie on and just watch it
Yeah,
while
I
he
used to watch
sleeps.
it's slower. I would say it doesn't get crazy until about 40-ish minutes in. But
Okay. But is it like interesting? They keep it at least.
yeah. I mean it's frustrating because it's the mom is getting blamed for things and that there's other things going on that's out of her control. I don't
Right.
know much.
Yeah, maybe
Anyways,
I'll
what
watch
else
it.
is going on with you?
Nothing really.
I don't have much to cover or whatever, and I was just gonna get right
But I'm
into it.
excited to hear about it for what you said.
Okay, let's just get right into it then.
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, I wanted to tell you about Daryl and Jamie Evans. They were high school sweethearts and very well respected in their community of Aledo, Texas. So that's where we are today. Aledo is a small town. It
Okay.
might still sound a bit sick. They got married to each other in 1986, having a total of 4 children, 3 girls and 1 boy they named Jacob, who everyone called Jake, born on May 22nd, 1995. By all accounts, the Evans were your ideal all American family, described as welcoming, friendly, and very devoted to their faith. When the kids were younger, they all attended the Aledo United Methodist Church. In 2011, for some reason, they all converted to Catholicism.
I feel like something big had to have happened for them to just switch faith like that.
Well, I don't know how similar, I don't really actually know the difference between a Methodist and Catholic.
Right. I don't even want to begin to.
The family spent a lot of their free time doing Bible studies and going to church. So they were really invested in their faith, as I was saying. They had a huge house. It was in a gated community boasting 4,200 square feet, so 4,200 square feet.
Holy.
Yeah, that's big, with 5 bedrooms and 5 bathrooms. And it was on a 2-acre lot.
Nice.
It included a pool and a pool house. I read over 1,000 foot square pool house
Oh my gosh, we
on the
are
lot.
so fancy.
Yeah, they are living it up. Apparently,
What do they do for a living?
well, I'll let you know what
Okay.
the mom does, but I actually
Oh.
don't really know what the dad does. I know that he traveled a bit for business, but I couldn't find out. But anyway, apparently they often hosted pool parties and family gatherings. Also, in the same gated community, the children's grandparents lived across the street.
Oh, okay. In a
And
gated.
also in the gated community, yeah, like
Okay.
literally they were the house across the street.
Wow.
And Jake's grandpa was a retired police officer after 27 years on the force. So pretty safe, right?
Yeah.
It was a safe upbringing for all the kids and the family. It was this gated community. They were surrounded by family. The grandpa's an ex-cop.
They
I'm
sound
not
like legit the American dream, like
Yeah,
Texas
white
and this
picket
beautiful,
fence.
100%.
Yeah. The mother, though, I do know she was a first grade teacher and an assistant principal.
I mean, that doesn't get you a 4,000.
Maybe in
Right on.
Texas, I don't know.
Maybe in Texas, yeah. I'm not sure, but
Maybe it's
like,
old money.
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
Good for
Anyway.
them. I like it.
Yeah. They're making it. So yeah, she was assistant principal and first grade teacher. However, she retired and decided to homeschool her 2 youngest children Jake
Oh,
and
wow.
Mallory.
Okay.
Jake's two eldest sisters. So you know how I was saying there's three girls and one boy.
Mm-hmm.
The the other two girls, they were already adults and moved out of the family home. One of them was going to
Oh.
college somewhere else, and then the other one actually moved in across the street with grandma and grandpa.
Oh my, really? Okay, cool.
Yeah, but whatever.
And sorry, how old are the two youngest that she started to homeschool again?
Mallory was 15 and Jake 17.
So what? So taken out of high school to homeschool.
Yeah, and so in 2010, Mallory was 13 and she started homeschooling her. And then 2 years
Okay.
after that, she pulled Jake out. So yeah, she pulled Jake out on his last year of school because he was 17
Oh wow,
when
okay,
she. It is because we don't know why she did that.
that's very interesting. That's just a very odd move to make for everybody. And
Mhm.
I don't really know how well that would be taken by teenager. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, or if there was something going on and she was
Yeah, I
starting
feel
to
like something had to have
notice.
happened.
So he did
Okay.
go to high school right up to the end, and Jake's friends described him as a good golfer and a quiet and reserved teenager who mostly kept to himself. A former classmate said, quote, I really liked him. The nicest kid, quiet, shy, kept to himself. I liked that about him.
Okay, good.
So
I'm
you're
still
like, what
confused.
is gonna happen here?
Well, yeah, I'm just confused. Why would he have left high school? Like, something had to have been going on.
Yeah, and we don't really know why, but she decided in 2010 she was homeschooling Mallory, which I could kind of understand maybe she was having a rough time in junior high, and then for the high
Right,
school she wanted to pull her
right.
out. But yeah, he was just in his last year and she pulled him out.
Yeah.
We're not sure why.
Okay.
Jamie, the mother, was described as very devoted to her family and enjoyed baking. People said she never had a bad word to say about anyone. Jake's 15-year-old sister Mallory was described as the life of the party, enjoying singing, dancing, and being goofy. She was also very sporty and very devoted to her faith. Apparently, she had mentioned to her uncle becoming a nun after she graduated.
Oh my
So
gosh. Okay. All right.
very God-fearing people.
Yes.
You were saying from the outside, everything seemed wonderful. They seemed perfect. The family was tight
Right.
knit and loving. People viewed them as basically the perfect, loving family until a fateful night in October of 2012. 911 operators received a chilling call in the early morning hours of October 4th, 2012. And I have the transcript from the 911 call.
Ooh, I love it. Okay.
So I'll read you. It's quite a bit. I listened to it as well. It was a 24-minute call, quite extensive, but I don't know if I'll read the whole thing, but I'll tell
Yeah,
you what
give me a
happened. So
bit.
yeah, so 911 dispatcher, 911, what's your emergency? And then on the other end was Jake, and you can tell it's a just a teenager,
Oh my
super calm.
gosh.
On the other line, he goes, "Oh," she asked, "Where is your emergency?" And he says, my house," just like that, monotone. "What's
Oh
the
God.
emergency?" Jake says, uh, "I just killed my mom and my sister."
What the
And
fuck?
then you can hear the 911 operator go, "What? How did you do that?" Just
Like, just so
complete
baffled.
bomb. Yeah, just a complete bomb dropped on her. And he goes, still super calm. I shot them with a 22 revolver. And
God.
she asks, "Are you sure they're dead?" And he says, "Oh, they're dead." And just very matter of fact, "Yeah, they're dead." The 911 operator's not sure if this is a prank at this point, just because he's so calm
Right.
and just telling her everything. And she said, asked him if he was on any medication. And Jake goes, no, I've been going to the allergist. I'm on allergy medication other
Oh
than
Jesus.
Zyrtec and Advil and some other allergy
What the fuck?
medicine. He says, I don't take anything else. She says, is there any reason that you were so angry at your mother and your sister? And Jake says, I don't know. It's weird. I wasn't even really angry with them. It just kind of happened. I've been planning on killing for a while now.
Oh my God.
He's 17.
Oh no. I wonder if maybe he was having some weird some signs or something and the mom was like, "Okay, you can't be going to school."
Yeah, just too, maybe too antisocial.
Wow.
He says he was planning on killing for a while now. The 911 operator asks him, the two of them or just anybody? And he says, pretty much anybody. And she says, why? And he goes on to say, I don't know. I don't really like people's attitude. I think it's kind of very like, emotional. They're very verbally rude to each other and stuff like that. I don't know. It's just my family is kind of really, I guess this is just really selfish to say, but I feel they were just suffocating me in a way. I don't know. I'm pretty, I guess, evil. Whatever. I'm sorry.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, dude. I don't even know what to
And
say to that. Like,
And then I don't think the 911 operator knew what to say either. She said, were your mom and sister in their beds? And he said, this is going to really mess me up in the future. I told my sister that my mom needed her. She was in her room and she came out of her room and I shot her. And she rolled down the stairs and I shot her again. Then I went down and I shot my mom maybe 3 or 4 times. But I never forget this. My sister, she came downstairs. She was screaming and I was telling her, I'm sorry, but just to hold still that, I was just going to make it go away. But she kept on freaking out. But she finally fell down and I shot her in the head about probably 3 or 4 times.
oh my God.
He's confessing this all to this 911 operator.
He's just like, yeah, his sister is, wow.
Yeah, and calm and just no emotion. But he also says, and his dad is out of town right now. It was
Oh,
just
fuck,
his
great.
mom and his sister were there. He also goes on to say that I keep saying but that's just because how he talks.
Right,
But
okay.
he said, I guess for future reference, I don't really want to see any of my family members visiting or whatever. I don't want any type of visitors. He's already demanding things when he's in jail from this
He's
911
like, yeah, I'm
operator.
going to jail. I don't care. Just make sure this happens. What the
Yeah,
fuck?
he's already saying, I need this, I need this. Like, he says, just to let you know, I hate the feeling of killing someone. Then he sighs. I'm going to be really messed up, he said.
You hate the feeling. Yeah.
He's just so calm. And you can I listened to the whole thing on YouTube. It's 24 minutes.
I need to
Stop.
listen to that.
And then she says that deputies are coming and they're going to help you. And she makes sure that he doesn't want to kill himself. And he was saying how he was afraid of guns now. And he just doesn't want to touch the gun anymore. So he's not going to hurt himself, basically. And then the 911 operator asks him for the gate password to get into their community. And while she's on the phone with him, she wants to keep him on the phone and make sure he doesn't try and kill himself or hurt anyone else. So she's asking him, how long ago did the shooting happen? And he says, about 30 minutes ago. And then he says, I'm really worried about nightmares and stuff like that. Are there any types of medications and stuff?
Why does this case sound so familiar?
Probably because it's so fucked up. You've probably heard about it.
Have we talked about it before?
I don't know. I don't think so. But he shot his sister who was only 15.
Oh, God, that is so.
And he tells the operator, I don't mean to sound like a wimp or anything, but this is, wow, I've never like done anything violent in my whole life, which is true.
What the fuck, man?
And then he's kind of freaking out a bit and she's telling him to breathe. And then Jake says, I didn't want them to feel pain. That's why I used a gun, but everything went wrong. So then at the end here, after this 24-minute call is starting to wrap up,
While the
911
police are
operator,
on their way and everything.
yes, yeah. 911 operator says, Jake, what I want you to do is walk outside, but when you're walking outside, stay visible. Don't walk behind any furniture. When you open the door, put your hands up in the air. Just walk very slowly. Walk outside and keep your hands visible. All right, sweetie. I'll talk to you later. Like,
Just, I guess, trying to
so,
keep him really calm.
yeah, they don't know what the fuck just happened.
Right.
He puts his phone down. He says, thank you. And he walks out willingly. And the police officers apprehend him and take him in. And this is where he writes his full confession, what happened that
I
day.
feel like in that moment, he's like, okay, yeah, thanks for coming to clean up this mess I made.
Yeah, and then he's asking for medication. He's like, hey, just put me away now and I need medication to
Like he
go
wants
to
to just go
sleep.
to a insane asylum and just be hopped up on meds the whole time.
Okay, now I am going to read verbatim. It says exactly leading up. He fucking confesses his whole day prior, what happened, where, what, everything. Here we go. I had just gotten home from the allergist and having lunch when I started watching Rob Zombie's Halloween. In the movie, a 12-year-old boy murders his stepfather, sister, and his sister's boyfriend. It was the third time this week that I watched it.
Oh.
While watching it, the third time, that's too much.
Yeah, like what are you
Um,
trying to get from this?
yeah, have you seen the Rob Zombie
No,
Halloween, his remake? I need to
no.
watch it now, or we need to. Maybe that's something you'll
Yeah,
watch
we
when
should.
Dylan's sleeping tonight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, it was the third time this week that I watched it. While watching it, I was amazed at how at ease the boy was during the murders and how little remorse he had afterwards. I was thinking to myself, it would be the same for me when I kill someone.
Oh my
After I
God.
watched the movie, I put it back in the case and threw it in the trash can so that people wouldn't think that it influenced me in any way. He's saying he watched this movie and he watched the kid kill someone, and I mean it's a movie.
Right.
Yeah, he's saying that, oh, that's what it feels like to kill someone. It feels so
Right.
euphoric almost.
Mm-hmm.
He threw it in the trash can. After that, I went outside to hit golf balls in the yard for about an hour. That's how privileged this kid is. He's got a yard
Right.
big enough to just go swing balls.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went inside around 5:30 p.m. and just sat in the living room thinking about how I was going to kill my family.
Oh my
My
God.
my plan was to kill my sister and my mom at my house and then go over to my grandparents' house and kill my oldest sister, Emily, and my two grandparents. Then I was going to wait until morning and
You
kill my other sister.
fuck him. What the hell? He's gonna go hunt your fucking family down so you can end their lives? What is
That's he said hunt
happening?
them. He was going to wait until morning. So his other sister, like I was saying, she was going to college somewhere else. She was coming home to visit. And so when
Mhm.
dad was out of town on business, he figured, and his sister was coming in to visit, this would be the best time.
Let me just annihilate my family.
Yeah, so his
What
other
the hell?
sister, Audrey, he said, I was going to wait until the morning and kill my other sister, Audrey, because she was visiting from college. After I got up from the couch, it was between 6 and 6:30, and my grandma called my mom to ask if I wanted to go to the cleaners with her. Okay, I went. And this is after he's completely devised a plan to murder everyone. And grandma's
Right.
like, hey, you want to
Including
come for a
her.
little outing? Yeah,
Right.
I went, and while we were in town, we got dinner. So grandma even bought this fucking kid dinner.
And he's like, I'm going to murder you.
Can you imagine he's just sitting across from his grandma
Unfucking real.
plotting her death? And they're
That
just
is
she's
just so sick. I'm so baffled
dying.
right now.
Yeah, we made a quick stop at the post office and then she dropped me off at my house. I took my dinner to the pool house and watched
Oh.
Family Guy for a bit.
And you decided not to eat it with her and go sit in your little pool, in your big pool house.
In your big pool house and watch Family Guy.
I'm very confused about this guy. I'm just very interested to hear if he did have any psychotic break or something that was undiagnosed because again, I can't get over that he was pulled out of high school in his last.
Yeah, I'll get to it, but they never he diagnosed him with anything.
What the hell?
There's no diagnosis at the end that comes out there. But okay, I watched Family Guy for a little bit. I went back into the house and saw that my mom and sister were watching the debate. I went outside again to swing freely, my golf club. Around 9
Like
p.m.
a perfect work night is what it sounds like.
Yeah, around 9 p.m. I went upstairs in my house to watch Family Guy again, I guess. About 10 minutes later, my sister came upstairs and asked if I wanted to watch a movie. I said no, because earlier that day at the allergist appointment, she made a racist comment about a black worker that was mowing the grass. She said, quote, "Ha, that black guy looks like a monkey."
Have you told me this case before?
No, why?
I'm just worried that you haven't told me this.
Not on the podcast, that's for sure.
Okay. I'm
What are
having the
you worried
weirdest
about?
deja vu.
Really? What were
Yes.
you worried about? That we've already recorded this?
Yeah. What the
No.
fuck?
I just found
Okay.
this case.
This
Like
is like
maybe
the
heard about
freakiest
it
thing.
heard about it a long time ago and then
No, even just what you just said, I feel like I've heard you say that exact thing.
really?
Yes.
That's so creepy.
I'm so freaked out.
What the hell?
Keep going.
Okay, so she said, "Ha, that black guy looks like a monkey," which is pretty fucking rude.
Yeah, that's fucking
Racist.
rude.
Yeah. In the past, Mallory had always said racist comments and would also make fun of homeless people, he said.
What?
And then he said, "I scolded her for what she said and told her that she was becoming white trash."
Oh, fuck. It's fucking insulting.
Which should have, yeah, that's where that should have ended. It shouldn't have ended in murder, but anyway.
Oh, exactly.
We continued arguing in the doctor's office, and when we got back into the car, I told her to look up the word lynching and to see if she had the same opinion about Black people.
Oh,
She then
no.
said that she would never be a part of lynching, but is still racist. So apparently she admitted it to be racist. But this is his words. I don't know if she actually admitted that.
Exactly. Yeah.
I then said that she makes me sick and called her a racist bitch. After that, I told her I didn't want to watch a movie. So she went to her room and I went downstairs to my parents' closet and he got his dad's
Yeah.
blue foldable knife. I
Okay.
went back upstairs. He's got a knife in his pocket right now. I went back upstairs and kept pacing back and forth, imagining killing Mallory
Oh my God.
with this knife that he has in his pocket now. Thoughts of causing her pain kept entering my mind and were really bothering me. Well, that's fucking good. That's the first really good thing you've said this whole time.
Well, yeah, that they were bothering him.
That thoughts of hurting his sister were bothering him. That's good. That's a normal
Yes,
person
go to your mom and tell
emotion.
her that you might be losing it.
Yeah. Then he would start to think about the time she hurt his feelings or really pissed me off. Finally, around 9:30, I knocked on her door and asked her if she wanted to watch Waterboy. She said yes and sat on the couch beside the sofa. I read that and I was thinking, what? A couch? But how big is her bedroom? She's got a couch and a sofa in there?
In her bedroom?
Yeah, he knocked on her door. He knocked on her door and asked, I guess if you have an almost 5,000 square foot home and only
Mhm.
5 bedrooms in it, those bedrooms are pretty big.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
So she said yes and sat on the couch beside the sofa I was on. I told her that I was going to the art room to get a pin.
Oh,
And
wow.
they've got an art room. They've got a
Okay.
fucking
All right. This just gets
uh,
fancier by the minute.
yeah. When I was in the art room, I stood there again, imagining killing Mallory. After about 30 minutes, I finally went into the room and sat
And
on the
she's
sofa.
just waiting to watch a movie.
Yeah, she wants to watch Water. For God's sake, she wants to watch Waterboy.
And
Like,
he's just, I'll be back. I have to go get something for 30 minutes.
yeah, pacing back and forth with a
Oh,
knife in
fuck.
his pocket. I sat for about 5 minutes and then playfully threw a pillow at Mallory. We started having a pillow fight in the room. Yeah, instead of stabbing his sister, he decided to have a pillow fight with her. After a while, I thought to myself that if I were going to kill my mom and Mallory, I wouldn't want them to feel anything. So I decided to kill them both with the .22 revolver I stole from my grandpa. Okay, this is fucked up. I told Mallory that I needed to go downstairs for a little bit. After I saw that my mom was in the study, there's a fucking study. Okay.
Wow. I want to study.
We've got a pool house. We've got a pool. We've got an art room. We've got a study. We've got sofas and couches inside of bedrooms.
You've got
This place
everything.
is lovely, other than the murder. I saw my mom was in the study. I went to my closet and picked up the pistol. I set it on the bed and was nervously opening the cylinder over and over again. I then spent probably over an hour walking nervously around the house,
Oh my God.
thinking about how my life will never be the same and how I would never see them again. And he's still, for an hour, he's thinking, my life is never going to be the same. I'm never going to see them again.
Well, yeah, I'm shocked because he has done that multiple times here right?
Yeah.
Having multiple moments to think about it and think about if it's really something he should do. And he does it.
Well, that's kind of where the sane part comes in, where he's, you
Right.
know, doesn't seem to have any mental break or anything. Nothing was impulsive
Right.
or anything like that, which makes it scarier
Mm-hmm.
because he's like has
100%.
the wherewithal to have these, back and forth thoughts and still chooses the evil one.
Yeah, 100%. And it's a gruesome one too. He's like, I want to do this. I'm gonna choose between which, and he paces with both. Not It's just a matter of when he's gonna do it, not if he's gonna do it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. When, not if. Around 11:15 p.m., I went upstairs with the pistol and stood there for about 5 minutes. I knocked on the door and told Mallory that mom needed her. She came out and out of the corner of her eye saw me pointing the gun at her. She thought I was joking and told me that I was freaking her out. So he coaxed her out.
This makes me so sad. You would never think in a million years that your brother would call you and you'd enter your room to find him pointing a gun at you.
He said mom needs you, and she came out of her room thinking,
Right.
oh, okay.
That is
He
just devastating.
He shoots her in the back and then in the head. I ran down to the study and I shot my mom 3 times. In shock, I ran to my room and I was screaming at the top of my lungs that I'm really messed up and that I killed my mom and sister. I emptied the shells on my bed, and that's when I heard a noise and realized that Mallory was still alive.
Oh my
While I
God.
loaded, yeah, while I loaded the gun back up, I was shouting that I was sorry, and then I ran as fast as I could to kill her. I then
Well,
made
you
sure
still
my
did
mom,
it.
yeah, so he could have saved her, and she was screaming, and he wanted to shut her up, so he shot her again. I then made sure my mom was dead and shot her again in the head. After the
Yeah, fuck
shootings, I
you.
walked, yeah, exactly. Fucking hell. After the shootings, I walked out for a few minutes and then came back inside. He said I was very shocked and scared and placed the gun on the kitchen. And then he kind of explains why. So he
Okay.
placed the gun on the kitchen counter and walked into the living room to dial 911. Then he says this is his reason for killing them. He says, when I look at people, especially teenagers, I see them as being very cruel to one another emotionally. It seems that their favorite hobby is picking on someone else. The people who are racist, bullies, and who are full of themselves are the real evil ones. And it amazes me because those three qualities are extremely common today. I was very sad because I felt like my own family were becoming the people I hate. I know now, though, that I'm done with killing. It's the most dreadful and terrifying thing I will ever experience. And what happened last night will haunt me forever.
Yeah, but first of all, you're 17 and life is really tough at that age. But you don't just go
Yeah,
around killing people because you're pissed off that the world isn't working out right now. And then the other thing is, a lot of people in this world are upset about the way things are handled and people have an attitude and everything, but you can't just go his thoughts are, I can understand, but then
yeah,
how
but
he took
just
it
so
from that
immature.
to just a level of extreme is just, I do not understand, and I'm happy I don't.
And also, that's the real world. There are assholes out there, you know?
Yeah,
It's,
exactly.
could you imagine? I don't, yeah, if he would have done this to at some point in his life just because of
I
for his reason.
agree. Well, and his reasons, was he planning to just shoot everybody he's seen? His entire family he wanted to take out.
Yeah, and he told the 911 operator pretty much anyone
Right.
when she asked if it was just them. Because, yeah, he even said he wasn't really even mad at them.
I
But
feel
yeah,
like he's somebody who would do a mass shooting
yeah,
with his logic there. That's very scary.
so extreme. And then, yeah, it's like you were saying, when you're at that age, it's wait a little bit longer, life gets better.
Well, everything at that age feels like the end all be
He,
all.
following his arrest, he was charged with 1 count of capital murder and 2 counts of murder. 1 count of capital murder because Jake intentionally murdered his mom and sister in the same
Mhm.
transaction. which is grounds for capital punishment, which is death row, the death penalty.
Mm.
Then the other two murder charges were simply for killing two people individually. On Wednesday, October 10th, 2012, hundreds of people packed into the Holy Redeemer Catholic Parish to attend a joint funeral for Jamie and Mallory. They
The
had
dad
white
had to come home to that.
yeah. And his two older sisters were still surviving. They had white caskets covered in an assortment of pink lilies and roses, which sounds beautiful. Next to the caskets were two framed pictures of Jamie and Mallory. The pastor of the church, Jason Jones, spoke at the ceremony saying, quote, I don't know if I'm going to keep my comment here in, but I don't think a pastor should be talking about a minor this way, because he says about Mallory, she had the soft, gentle hands of her mother.
No.
That's weird, right? I read that and I'm like, I don't want to say anything
Yeah,
bad
like,
about them, but
well,
that's
and is he meaning it? It just sounds so literal. It could mean her mom's just a gentle soul, and so was she, but he says it in such a literal way
yeah. And
that
just him
it's
being
so
a pastor of
freaky.
a church.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No kidding.
Jamie and Mallory, he said, if we had to count the ways we love you, we'd be here forever. So the last bit's kind of nice. Jake's father, Daryl, spoke about his love for his wife and also attributed his success to the encouragement she gave him during their 26 years of marriage.
Oh my.
He was successful in something. I don't know what
Mhm.
exactly. Jamie's brother, Jake's uncle, Philip, said Mallory was a bundle of joy, truly free inside and out. He also said that him and his sister had a warm and loving relationship, and that she would always be remembered for her mouth-watering pies and her hesitation to take credit for the numerous accomplishments that she had made, ending with, quote, I will always be proud to be Jamie's little brother. Thank you for joining us. Peace be with you.
Oh.
Now, Jake was originally held without bond. However, in January of 2013, the judge granted Jake's attorney request and set bond for $750,000.
Why did the judge do that? Did they say?
Well, his attorney asked for him to have bond. I think it's because he was a minor at the time and also had zero priors. He was
Right.
so yeah,
Right.
they set a bond, but he sounds pretty fucking violent to me.
Well, yeah, that's kind of scary. It sounds like he would do a mass shooting because he's like, yeah, I literally would kill. I don't like the way society is, and I was gonna kill anybody.
Yeah, that's antisocial, right?
Yes, I mean,
Well,
there's a difference
people
between
always
antisocial and an introvert, and then there's a difference between totally being a recluse or recluse from society.
but people joke about being antisocial, but it's an actual clinical, if you're
Oh,
actually,
be very extreme. Yeah.
yeah. So he sounds very much like an antisocial sociopath. So his
Mhm.
father refused to pay. He felt like his son needed to be in prison for this crime, which fair.
Yeah, I agree.
He stayed in prison until his trial, which he was in there for 2.5 years. And during that time, Jake didn't want any of his surviving family members to visit him during this time, so nobody did.
Right.
They were like,
His request.
yeah, his request was granted. Over the 2.5 year period after his arrest, the court went back and forth. There, it was kind of they didn't know what to do with him because they were concerned with his mental health. The two psychologists determined him to be incompetent to stand trial, and he went to the state mental health hospital. However, on the 20th of April of 2015, officials at the hospital notified the court that he was indeed competent and able to stand trial. So there's no diagnosis came out, and which is really crazy to me.
They're like, yeah, he's not crazy. He's just
Yeah, because he knew it. I mean, because you know what? He was expressing feelings of remorse. So that's
right. And he
maybe
knew
that's
it was wrong.
knew it was wrong, planned it, was remorseful after. So maybe, yeah, we don't know. On April 30th of 2015, Jake was sentenced to 45 years in prison in a plea agreement with prosecutors. Jake, who was 17 at the time of the 2012 Jake, who was 17 at the time in 2012, he pleaded guilty to 2 counts of murder. As a part of the plea, the state waived the capital murder charge. So Jake, who turned 20 in May of 2015, has to serve at least 22 and a half years of his sentence before becoming eligible for parole. And he will be given credit for the 2.5 years that he had been held in jail or at the state mental hospital while awaiting trial. He's in there until at least 2035 before
So
he
sorry,
can go
he's
for.
in jail and he's not in the mental institution.
No, so that's another thing. He got credit for being in the mental hospital for 2.5 years while he was being assessed whether or not he was competent. But no, he's just in regular jail now. And
I'm
yeah, so
curious if they're doing like work on him, to see if, because
I know I
I
tried
don't
to
know if
pull
it
it
all
up.
goes into the hearings, but when he goes in, are you remorseful? Do you know that you did something wrong? Yada yada. But what if he's a straight up sociopath and he could completely fool you?
Yeah, exactly. But a letter from the Evans family read in court said his family supported the lesser sentence, but they appreciate the deal and go on to say, we wish to close this chapter of our lives in order to continue healing as a family. District Attorney Robert Dubois told members of the media that he was in awe of the Evans family ability to forgive. He said, quote, absolutely, the family has shown forgiveness that astounds the normal person with how quickly they forgive him and how wholly they embrace him, Dubois said. It's just awe-inspiring to see that amount of love for this kid. And that is the murders of Mallory and her mother, Jamie, by 17-year-old Jake, who just was watching Rob Zombie and decided that kid looked like he felt pretty good after murdering those people, so I guess I'll do it too.
That is so confusing. Not you confusing, but him, he's so confusing and scary. This was just the most senseless thing.
Yeah, he even admitted to saying that he wasn't even that mad at them. He wanted to know what it was like to kill someone. He wanted to know.
And so he did it.
After so much contemplation too.
Right, he thought about it for so long. He even sat beside his sister watching a movie, and that's what he was thinking about. And then he's, I'm not going to do it now. I'm going to go pace again. And then sees his mom and is, okay, what if I do this?
Yeah. And then even earlier in the day, his grandma brought him out for dinner. You'd think you'd start to think, hey, my family's not that bad.
And it's interesting, too, because he kills his mom and he kills his sister. But his plan was to kill pretty much his whole family minus his dad. But right after his sister, he decided that was it. It's like he thought about it before he wanted to go to an incident.
Well, because he killed his mom and his sister, and then after that, he says he got freaked out by the gun.
Oh, right. I wonder if it would have been different with a knife, because that's what he was going to do first.
I bet you if he stabbed them, he'd start hearing them screaming and freaking out. He'd probably, I don't know, they probably would have survived because it's hard to, you have to stab them in the right.
Because he has to fight them off.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't like that he's going to be eligible for parole one day.
Yeah, in 10 years.
Like that.
And he'll still be quite young too. Okay, well.
Oh, yes, you can find us on TikTok and Instagram at Darknarrativespodcast. And you can email us at darknarrativespodcast@gmail.com.
Oh, yeah, and don't forget to rate us.
Yeah, don't forget to rate us, leave a comment, or send us an email. Send us any spooky stories you have or anything. Other than that, we will have a case next Thursday.
And that's it for this week.
Remember, it's a dark world out there.
See you creatures next week.